Have you ever had someone say something that made your heart ache? A sarcastic remark, a disdainful look, and suddenly you find yourself wanting to react. Wanting to respond, wanting to prove something. But wait, is that really necessary? Or are you letting others control you? Blank. Underscore. Blank. In this world, you will always have people who don't like you. No matter how good you do, no matter how kind you are, there will always be people who intentionally hurt you. They will say harsh words, even openly attack. And what is the first thing you feel? Angry, self-conscious, wanting to react. It's a very human reaction. It's instinctive. But let me ask you this. Do you want to live by instinct, or do you want to live by courage? Blank. Underscore. Blank. In Stoic philosophy, an ancient school of philosophy that helped emperors, generals, and warriors overcome adversity, there is a very important lesson. We have no control over what other people do, but we have complete control over how we react. Stoicism does not teach you to be cold, nor does it teach you to be silent in injustice. It teaches you mastery, mastery of anger, mastery of hurt, mastery of thoughts and actions. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Think back to the last time you were offended. Maybe a family member said something that hurt you, or a coworker puts you down in public. How did you react? Do you feel regret afterwards? Do you find yourself drawn into a fight you don't want to be in? If so, you're not alone. We've all been there. But a leader, a person with real inner strength, does not react mechanically. They choose how they react, and that choice makes all the difference. Blank. Underscore. Blank. You see, reaction is instinctive, but mastering your reactions, that's a skill. And that skill is the foundation of leadership. You don't need a title to be a leader. Just be able to keep your cool when others lose theirs. Just keep your value when others lose control. You are the leader, not because you are louder, but because you are wiser. This video will not be just about insults. It will show you how to control your emotions, how to stay calm even when provoked, not to make you weak, which makes you unshakable, because the strongest person is not the first to react, but it is the person who knows when not to react. So, when someone insults you, do you react like a victim? Or will you choose to act like a true leader? We will discover the answer together in the next part. Do you know what hurts us the most? Not the blow, not the defeat, the words. A seemingly unintentional sentence can make our heart heavy all day. Why is that? Because sometimes we forget one simple thing. An insult is not a fact. It is just a perspective. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "It's not what happens to us that hurts, but how we perceive it." When someone insults you, what they are really doing is not describing you, but reflecting on their own inner self. They are revealing your insecurities, anger, or pettiness, not painting a true portrait of you. But we easily forget that. We accept those words as if they were true. And then, we allow ourselves to be hurt. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Imagine you walk into a room. Someone says, "You are useless." The first reaction may be pain, even anger. But if you understand that the person doesn't know you well, then that sentence is just like the sound of the wind. It can't do anything to you, unless you allow it touches my mind. And here's the bottom line. You are not hurt by other people. You are hurt by believing them to be true. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Now let's talk about emotional reactions. The angrier a person is, the easier he is to control. Why? Because emotions are like reins. Whoever pulls them, leads you. Have you ever let anger cause you to say something you later regret? I used to be like that. I used to think that responding quickly was strong. But later I realized, hasty reaction is not strength, but loss of control. Every time you react impulsively to an insult, you are giving control to the person who hurt you. You let them guide your emotions, your behavior, and even your day. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Stoic philosophy does not teach you to be silent and resigned. It teaches you to choose your response. You can respond with composure. You can walk away without responding. And by doing so, you take back control. The Stoics do not seek to win an argument. They win by not letting themselves be pulled down to the same frequency as others. Insult them. They keep calm, because that is a manifestation of inner strength. Blank. Underscore. Blank. If you want to become a truly strong person, start here. When someone insults you, stop. Don't believe them. Don't let other people's words define your worth. It's how you react that defines who you are, not how others treat you. When someone insults you, a provocative remark, a stab in the gut, what do? You might want to fire back. Say something sharper. Show that you're not a pushover. But what if I told you that that very moment is where you can create a stronger version of yourself? Would you believe it? In Stoic philosophy, how we respond to insult is not only a sign of self-control, but also evidence that we are living according to reason, rather than being led by momentary emotion. And the first rule to doing that is to stop. Blank. Underscore. Blank. 1. Stop. Don't react immediately. There is a quote by Marcus Aurelius that I always carry with me like a talisman. If you feel angry, wait. If you are still angry, wait again. Sounds simple, but think about it. How many problems in life come from reacting too quickly? One email not read carefully, I got angry. A harsh comment, I immediately responded. A criticism that is not clearly understood, we quickly react. Just 1 second of stopping, one deep breath, can save us from hours of torment, regret, or the loss of a precious relationship. Stop not because you are weak, but because you choose to control yourself instead of letting others control you through your emotions. Blank. Underscore. Blank. 2. Look at things like an observer. Stoics practice a very special ability, the ability to detach themselves from momentary emotions. Instead of wallowing in anger, they take a step back and look at the situation from an outsider's perspective. Imagine you are in the middle of a storm, gusty winds, thunder, chaos. If you try to run in the storm, you will be swept away. But if you can step back, stand at a distance and observe, you will see, a storm is just a storm, it's not me. When someone insults you, try looking at yourself, the one who is angry, who wants to react, as if you were looking at someone else. You will realize that insult is not you, and that emotion is just a wave, it will pass. Blank. Underscore. Blank. 3. Ask again. Is this really a threat? There is a funny thing about people. We react to a statement as if it could destroy our whole life. But if we stop and ask, is this really that dangerous? Will it affect my health, my property, or my life? Then the answer is almost always no. Most insults don't cost you anything, they just hurt your ego. But the ego is not you. You are the will, you are the mind, you are the ability to choose the right course of action. Blank. Underscore. Blank. One perspective to conclude this section. The Stoics had a very simple, yet extremely powerful practice. Will this still matter in 5 years? And I advise you, carry this question with you every day. A snide remark, a contemptuous look, a mean remark. Will it still affect you in 5 years? If the answer is no, then don't let it take up 5 precious minutes of your time today. Blank. Underscore. Blank. You can't control the world out there, but you can always control your own reaction. And that is what true freedom is. There is a truth that I believe we have all encountered. This world is full of hurtful words, annoying behavior, and people who seem to live only to make others angry. But you know what? They can't hurt you unless you let them. That is not a comforting statement. It is the core tenet of Stoicism, and the foundation of every great leadership model in the world. Stoics understand that other people's behavior is beyond our control, but our response is always in our hands. A true leader, whether at work, at home, or in his inner life, does not lose his temper over a few provocative words. They don't answer with ego, they answer with values. Blank. Underscore. Blank. 1. Your reaction is a reflection of your inner strength. Do you want to know who a truly strong person is? Don't look at how they perform when they are good. Look at how they perform when they are under attack. When someone insults you, and you remain calm, not responding hastily, that is the image of an unshakable soul. In a world where everyone wants to speak louder, respond faster, and prove themselves right, composure is the most powerful weapon. You can see that in any great leader. They don't need to shout to demonstrate power. They use silence to convey messages. They control themselves to lead others. Blank. Underscore. Blank. 2. No need to win. Just master yourself. Many people go into a confrontation with the mindset, I have to win. Win with arguments, win with words, even win with contemptuous silence. But really, victory isn't about silencing others. Victory is when you don't get dragged down to the level of anger. The Stoics do not need to prove that they are right. They demonstrate that they are not driven by negative emotions. They choose to hold on to their values, even when those values are not recognized by others. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Speech balloon. A personal perspective. I once worked with a senior executive, someone in a position of great power. But what I admire is not the position he holds, but the way he reacts when criticized. Never get defensive, never get angry, just a nod, and I understand, and he quietly amends or ignores it. If it's not worth keeping in mind, then I understood. A leader is not someone who always reacts correctly, but someone who chooses when not to react. No one can penetrate your inner self unless you open the door. And a true leader is the one who knows how to hold that door firmly. Calmness is not passivity. It is the most powerful action you can take in a world full of excitement, full of wins and losses, and full of invitations to fall into emotional traps. Keep your cool. You not only keep yourself, you become a guide for the very person who offended you. There is one thing I want to emphasize. Composure is not an inborn gift, it is a skill. And like any skill, it needs to be practiced every day, consciously. The problem is that most of us are not taught how to stay calm when offended. We learn to react, but rarely learn to control. And that's why today, we're going to explore some concrete tools for practicing Stoic thinking and applying it to our daily lives. Blank. Underscore. Blank. 1. Establish reflexive gap. The art of pausing before reacting. You know, between the agent and the reaction, there is always a space. It's a moment that lasts only 3 to 5 seconds. But it's enough to decide who you are in that situation. Will you be the one dragged into the emotional mud, or the one who stands firm and leads? When someone insults you, instead of reacting immediately, take a deep breath, stop, and ask yourself, who do I want to be in this situation? The victim, or the leader of my own emotions? This gap is short, but it is the area where you have complete choice. And that choice makes the difference between an instinctive reaction and a rational response. Blank. Underscore. Blank. 2. 3 layers of control. Know what's worth your attention. The Stoics divided the world into 2 distinct regions. What you control, and what you don't control. You control my thoughts, my actions, my reaction. You have no control over other people's words, judgmental eyes, other people's feelings and thoughts. When you understand this boundary, you will no longer waste energy trying to change things that are out of reach. You will learn to let go of what doesn't belong to you, and invest your peace in what you can truly control. Blank. Underscore. Blank. 3. Journaling and meditation. Reflecting on yourself. There is a beautiful image of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and also one of the greatest Stoic philosophers. He writes a diary every day, but not to brag, but to look back at himself. Write down what bothered you, what you did wrong, and what you can do better tomorrow. It's not self-blame, it's self-discipline. You can do the same. Every night, write a few lines. How did I react to pressure today? Is there anything I regret? How do I want to behave tomorrow if that situation repeats itself? It is this reflection that will sharpen your self-awareness, and from there, you will become more and more calm in the face of any challenge. Blank. Underscore. Blank. 4. Practice intentional silence, the invisible weapon of the strong. You don't always have to say something. Not every attack needs a counterattack. Sometimes silence, deliberately chosen, is the most powerful form of feedback. Imagine someone is trying to provoke you, hoping you will lose control. And instead of reacting, you look at them and stay silent. No anger, no contempt, just an incomprehensible steadiness. It is that silence that will make them stop. Because they cannot control you as they expect. It's not weakness, it's an invisible strength. You can't expect calmness to come by accident. You have to practice it, like a warrior practices his sword. Every breath, every pause, every journal page, every intentional silence. All are solid steps towards becoming a true emotional leader. And one day, when the world around you is still in chaos, you will be the one who stands tall, steadfast as a mountain, not because you are not attacked, but because you have trained yourself not to be shaken. We often grow up with a familiar mindset. If someone hurts you, you have the right to hit back. If someone insults you, you have the right to be angry. But then what happens? We live in a vicious cycle of defensiveness, of anger, of instinctive reactions, without anyone stopping to ask, am I being controlled, or am I really in control? And that's when you need a mindset reset. No longer be the one who gets caught up in other people's emotions, but is the one who actively influences the atmosphere, culture, and behavior around. From influencer to influencer, blank, underscore, blank. 1. You are the face of a new culture. In a world where being quick, strong, and aggressive is considered being assertive, you, the one who knows when to shut up, the one who thinks before you speak, are a completely different breed. You are building a new kind of culture. A culture that doesn't need to win or lose, doesn't need to be noisy, but is still strong and influential. And every time you choose not to respond negatively, every time you maintain dignity in silence, you are not only doing the right thing, you are setting a new standard for those around you. From home, to work, to community, you become a living example of true power comes not from authority, but from self-mastery. Blank, underscore, blank. 2. Leadership starts with autonomy. Many people confuse leadership with the right to control others. But in reality, true leadership is the ability to control yourself, especially in adversity. Leaders do not let an insult derail their actions. They don't let short-term emotions ruin their long-term vision. And that is why others trust and follow them. When you are offended, you have two choices. 1. Become a copy of the person who hurt you. 2. Be the role model you want to see in the world. The leader will always choose the second option, because they understand. Every action is a statement, and they choose their statements with composure. 3. Be an initiator, not a reactant. You can wait for the world to change. You can wait for people around you to become kinder, more polite, more calm. But it is a journey without a destination, because the world does not operate according to individual wishes. So why don't you be the one to start? Be the one to initiate a kind conversation, even if you are misunderstood. Be the one to initiate an attitude of tolerance, even when you are attacked. Be the one to initiate calm, even if someone is trying to drag you into their anger. Don't let your environment define who you are. Let your inner values determine how you live and how you lead. You can't control who will hurt you, who will treat you badly, who will insult you in a meeting or on the street. But you can always control who you become after all that. A strong person isn't the one who answers the best, it's the one who can influence a room with just their presence. And to do that, you don't need power. You only need one thing: master yourself. There is one very important thing I want you to remember after all we have just shared. It's not who insults you that matters. It's your reaction that matters. There will always be people out there who will say insensitive things, behave badly, or try to put you down. They will test your composure. They will touch your weak spots. your sensitive areas of mind. But what hurts you isn't what they say, but what you let them control your emotions. You may not be able to stop someone from insulting you, but you can absolutely choose how you react. And it is that choice where you show your character, where you step out of the shadow of instinct to become a leader with intelligence and dignity. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Self-leadership is the beginning of all leadership. We often hear about leading others, but few talk about something more important. Lead yourself. Why? Because if you can't control yourself, you will be led by your emotions, by circumstances, by the behavior of others. And in this life, he who controls his emotions controls his life. You can be a CEO, a father, a mother, a regular employee, it doesn't matter. The important thing is, are you in control of yourself? Are you reacting like a victim? Or acting like a leader? Blank. Underscore. Blank. Stoicism. A roadmap for those who want to live strongly and clearly. Stoic philosophy does not require you to be a perfect person. It simply gives you the tools to keep you from being controlled by your emotions. It teaches you to distinguish between what you can control and what you can let go of. It doesn't tell you to be patient, but it teaches you when to be silent and when to act with reason. It doesn't force you to always be right, but gives you inner freedom, regardless of what others think or say. Blank. Underscore. Blank. And finally, next time someone insults you, remember this. You don't need to react. Do you want to continue building your inner strength and live a calm, steady life? Don't stop there. Check out the videos in the playlist below. A collection of practical lessons from Stoic philosophy that will help you act wisely and control your emotions better every day. And if you find this content useful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the latest videos that help you practice strong thinking. Live clearly and not be affected by negativity. Keep going, because the strongest version of you is waiting ahead.